All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Once again, we are the Hebrew Israelites, Great Millstone, Atlanta. Out here another week, another day to speak the truth and edify the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, who are Western Native Americans. We want to first off give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
double honors to the apostles, the elders of the Great Millstone, that rule well, and as always, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. We're out here on a so-called Thursday. Today is Thanksgiving, all right, thanks stealing, all right. And through the Spirit of the Lord, you guys allowed us to come out here and put a whole nother vibration out here to the world, you know, push His truth and push His word out there to gather in the elect. You got a lot of our people, which are Israelites, so-called blacks, Native Americans, once again, a lot of our people are celebrating Thanksgiving, most of them unknowingly, that they're, you know, sacrificing to idols, all right, that they're, you know, giving their praises to a false God that doesn't exist, okay? And the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, who the word enemy calls God, and the Son Yahweh Shah, who the word enemy calls Jesus Christ, He has set up His prophets out here to tell His people to wake them up to who they really are and what they really should be doing. Our people shouldn't be celebrating Thanksgiving or any American holiday, okay? All right, our people were told to keep the ways of the Heavenly Father, you know, through the commandments in the Bible, all right? Because a lot of our people, they believe in the Bible. A lot of our people who went to church last night, you know, had a sermon or a service, and then they're gonna, you know, go to church today. Yeah.
So-called religious person of the family is going to stand up at the Thanksgiving dinner today and give that long ass prayer. It's typically going to be a woman.
Nigga, I'm hungry.
It's going to be the grandmama. It's the religion, the religious freak of the family.
What the fuck? That, you know, that one deacon uncle is going to get up there and speak, you know. But like I said, our power, our God in the scripture, He didn't give us Thanksgiving. Okay? He didn't give us these American holidays to follow. He gave us the commandments. All right? Okay.
It's Amos 5:21.
I kind of want to start. Matter of fact, go ahead and start there. I was going to start there. Go ahead.
But it's Amos 5:21. And it says, I despise your feast days.
Right, so this is the Heavenly Father telling His people Israel He hates and despises the feast days. We all know that Thanksgiving is a major feast here in America. Okay, it's not something that the Heavenly Father sanctions for our people to follow. That's an Edomite, so-called white man's holiday, because it was to know His victory over one of the tribes of Israel, the Native Americans, which is the tribe of Gad.
Yeah.
It was to know His victory over them in conquering this land.
I can say something too, and that's how holidays are really established in most cases, anyways. Either by the triumph over a nation or by the memorial of taking down a nation. You know, we had the Passover, which goes into actually triumphing over the Egyptians. We had the Feast of Purim, the Feast of, which goes into triumphing over Haman the Agagite. You have Hanukkah, which is the rededication, us actually getting back our land from the Edomites. So these holidays that we actually had were even associated with overcoming adversity through enemies. And the so-called white man, he creates the same memorials, and he will have memorabilia to actually show that he actually took down a nation, such as the Ark of Titus. He has, like we're speaking of, mainly Thanksgiving, Columbus Day, the independent was 17th July, the 4th of July, which is the independence of them breaking off from Great Britain. So this isn't just a holiday where it's just eating. You know, it actually has spirits behind it. It has a whole deep and dark history that weighs behind what people actually celebrate.
Yeah, because what happens today at the Capitol Hill with the president? The president every year will do what? He'll pardon the turkey. You know, and the turkey, even with Thanksgiving, represents you tribes. Really, you Gadites, and they take it down to Gad and Reuben. But nevertheless, it still applies to the tribes being in prison. All right, because every year, what happens? Who's the main ones that try to get pardons from out of prison by the governor or the president? It's you niggas. You had several years ago, you had Tukey Williams. They tried as hard as hell to get him pardoned from, I think, Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time. But he ain't get it. They put his ass to death. So it's the same thing in the spirit of the day, because Donald Trump, he'll pardon a turkey. What the hell does that got to do anything? Where is that pardoned turkey gonna go? To freedom? No. Just lived another day to get cooked next week.
But that's a part of the custom of these American people. You know, it's not an Israelite custom. We're not out here to celebrate the victory over our brothers, man, or our cousins. You know. All right.
Let me finish this real quick, bro. This is Amos 5 and reading on. Amos 5 and 21. It says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assembly. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
Right, so the Lord said that he would not smell in your solemn assemblies. Because a lot of our people, they take this Thanksgiving as a serious day.
Yes, very serious.
You know, it's a very serious day where people from all over the country, family members that you ain't seen in 3 or 4 years, they come down and they speak, and you got that one cousin will say, hey, I ain't seen you in a long time. Let's go outside real quick before we go in. You know,
women will cut you. You come in the kitchen and stick your fork in the pan. That's serious business. You stick your fork in somebody's pot of greens, and they'll stab you. Go to show you that they put their spirit, their heart into this.
Yeah, a lot of people throughout the year they'll get in the kitchen. A lot of aunties that's notorious for goddamn burning down the kitchen that they boil some goddamn noodles. They'll be in the kitchen whipping stuff up like they're iron shop, man.
Since last night.
Yeah.
You got a lot of big women that's been in the kitchen cooking since yesterday. See?
We talked about the last count we had, the major holiday was July 4th, and it's dedicated towards the women, man. You know, it's like the men get dragged along, and it's supposed to be an order with the man being over the woman, but with these holidays, the woman bugs the man so much, she's like, all right, man, it's effort, I'm just going to, do whatever. And most of these men know that these men on these chart, man, know something's wrong with these holidays, but the scriptures say, as for my people, children rule over them, and women are their oppressors. So the woman is leading these holidays, man.
Yeah, it's like you got the guy, ex-football player Spice Adams. And there's I think it's the cookout video he did, and it's the one Jake that's always in the car making runs. He got to go get the mustard and mayonnaise and all the shit to keep making him do the runs. But that's like the brother's saying, even who's mostly doing the errand running? The men. The men are the ones that's doing the errand runs. The women, it's a day to glorify, and they're gonna say that nasty ass prayer. And at the end of the night, everybody, give a round of applause and thank your aunt.
Big mama.
Thank your aunt. Well, like we were saying on the way down here, really, ain't no such thing as big mama no more. Grandmas now are 37 years old and shit. That ain't no such thing as a 80-year-old woman in the kitchen, rolling biscuits out and shit like that. Nah, it's
nothing from scratch. Nothing get made from scratch.
Grandma, that's the pretty class. That was it on that.
All right, this is Job 8 and 8. For I inquire, I pray thee of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Right.
So,
Well, what I'm going to say was, really what you should be doing is going back to your heritage. But you got to go beyond America. You got to go beyond America. Matter of fact, give me Jeremiah 6 and 16.
Okay, I'm sorry. Matter of fact, yeah, you go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 6:16. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls."
Right. So the Lord here in the Bible is saying, ask ye for the old, stand in the way, and ask ye for the old paths, meaning going back to the ancient. All right. Now, like I was saying, our history goes beyond America. Our history, you know, our history and our traditions go beyond slavery. Okay. We were a nation of kings, priests, princes, noblemen. You know, great orators,
Mighty men, yeah.
mighty men, warriors. All right. But through our disobedience to the Heavenly Father, and keeping His commandments and trying to follow the ways of the nations around us, such as the so-called white man, which is Esau, all right, and other Gentile nations, okay, we became corrupted. We became tainted.
Yeah, that's how we became truly Gentiles. Which the word Gentiles in the scriptures, it represents being foreign, meaning you actually hold foreign customs and you live a lifestyle that's foreign to you. Our people in 2018, they don't understand who they truly are. So they'll celebrate these different holidays, Halloween, Christmas, which all these different holidays are really mixtures of different kingdoms in one. Easter goes back to Ishtar. You have Halloween that goes back to the Celts, the Druids, Samhain. You have Christmas that goes back to ancient Babylon. You know, so January 1st, that really goes back to Rome. Yep, Janus, which you know, the image of Janus when you look at it. So our people are truly Gentiles. Yes, they're following foreign customs, and that's why we're out here to bring our people back to their true nationality here. And go back to the holidays of old: Passover, Purim, Hanukkah, Feast of Tabernacles,
New moons,
Sabbaths.
We have a great history, man. Can I get Psalms 81 and 3 real quick? Give me Psalms 81 and 3, and then give me Leviticus 23 and 1 about the holidays.
I got a quick precept.
Psalms 81.
Okay, this is Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded thee, that they should do so in the land whither you go to possess it.
Right, so the Lord, the Heavenly Father, He gave the Israelites statutes, commandments, and judgments to follow in the land. So when we were to get our inheritance, and when we were to get our plot of land for us to rule over as a people, there were certain rules and guidelines and bylaws that we had to follow.
They're laws.
You know, laws. You know, so-called white man got his laws and his penal codes and things that he goes by. Okay, his legislation and decrees he comes up with. But we had the same thing.
Well, a lot of our laws go back to, Esau's laws go back to our laws. You know, you have lawyers that actually, you actually have all types of lawyers, but the term lawyer, it goes back to being joined to the Mossad, lawyer. You have, you have, which in the scriptures you have dietary laws, you have moral laws, you have civil laws, you have all types of laws, property laws. And Esau takes those different laws and he'll replicate them in his system. You want to say something?
I was gonna say to add to your point, if I could. That's why what happens when you go to court, they have you swear on the Bible, right? Because they get their inspiration. Like add to you said, like a lawyer, you have lawyers and you have attorneys. And what do attorneys do? They turn the charge or turn back you into your favor of you. A turn. Same thing that we're doing, we're turning you back to the Heavenly Father. So it's the same premises. It's just Esau uses it, his own wicked way.
Well, he used it to his advantage.
Right.
You know, he used, so-called white man, he's the one that cherry picks what he wants to do out of scriptures. And then where it's not convenient for him to follow, he writes in his own amendments and things like that. You know? But we have our customs to follow.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as Esau trying to uphold the Bible.
Get that real quick.
All right, this is Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Right. So this one that white man, he has no business dealing with the scriptures. Okay? What does he have to do with the Heavenly Father and the law, statutes, and commandments? Okay? But that's something that the so-called white man has done. And then, matter of fact, you read it because it's going to tell you what he's done with it.
Yep. All right, verse 17. This is Psalms 50 and 17. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. Verse 18. When thou sawest a thief.
Right. So he says, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth his words behind thee. Here it is, he has the book, but then he cast the word behind him. Meaning he don't even take heed to the instruction.
Yeah.
Like I said, he cherry picks what he wants out of the scripture.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
he
that's
doesn't follow behind he doesn't follow behind the law of no homosexuals or lesbians. He's supposed to put them to death, but he says, nah, you know what? Let's give them rights.
Yeah.
But you should treat people as an equal. Okay.
I would say as far as even Esau's system on the whole, a lot of these super rich don't get tried by the same laws that the poor does. You know, you have white collar criminals, they'll do all kind of embezzlements, money laundering. Really, even Esau trial, these high interest rates, that goes back to you. But Esau will call somebody a loan shark.
Yeah.
And they'll deem somebody actually committing Ponzi schemes. But truthfully speaking, this whole world that we're living in is a Ponzi scheme. These vehicles that we purchase with these high interest rates, first off, these vehicles aren't half the price worth it. And then they make you have to pay for the emissions when, here it is, you're the one that brought these vehicles to this country. If we was in our natural state, we would be using chariots, we would be using horses, vehicles that the Most High created.
That's right.
And these artificial, these artificial forms of transportation, they emit all kind of smog and smoke into the atmosphere, and they make you pay for emissions tests. And if you don't pay for emissions tests, or if you don't have a license to drive and all these different things, then they'll lock you up.
This ain't it's your fault. You're the one.
Killing her.
Yeah, you know, if you take these public transportation. Why don't you want to be more, environmentally friendly, get you a bicycle.
Or get you a eco-friendly car. You know, maybe hybrid cars and shit like that.
Even
If
that
Esau was righteous, or if he like that scripture he just brought out in Psalms 50, he would tell the so-called Israelites not to celebrate this bullshit. He can celebrate. Really, Esau is not in the transgression. He should actually be celebrating Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, because we're still in his rulership. But according to that, if he took the instructions, the book of instructions into his hand, he should really be telling us not to be celebrating these goddamn holidays. This ain't got nothing to do with us. Y'all go find something else to do while we celebrate the downfall of you niggas.
Right.
But he ain't gonna do that.
Because we're his money.
Yep.
Can you say that again, verse 17?
All right, this is Psalms 50 and 17. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. Verse 18. When thou sawest a thief, when thou contendest with him and hast been partaker with adulterers.
Right. He did. He like the brother said, he should tell us to not follow. But what he does is he keeps us bound in our own destruction.
Yep.
He continues to perpetuate us being lost in who we are and pushes it.
Yep.
So do me a favor real quick, I'm really proud of this.
If I can add to what you're saying, like me and the brother Barzell was talking about over here. Esau has you, so-called white man. He has been drunken off the idea of these days. Because as a commercial that's on TV, I'm pretty sure some of you brothers have seen it. It's a Publix commercial where you got the Edomite woman in the kitchen and she's cooking everything, and she's making up a pie because her son's coming home from college and shit. And you watching this and you're thinking in your head like that's what it's supposed to be. This perfect day, your mother and your father's happy. The son's coming from college, the neighbors are coming over. And that's all the furthest thing from the truth. These days are not happy days for you. A lot of you niggas, you're going to go see your family, and everybody knows how shitty your relationship is. Everybody's talking shit about your son because one of your sons is in prison, or He's a college fella. You see what I'm saying? So Esau, through his witchcraft and through his imagery, he has you believing that that's what it's about. When that's the furthest thing from the truth. The furthest thing from the truth.
That's what you said, going back to that July 4th camp, man. It's basically, my family is better than your family, and then we're going to come all together to prove that my family is better than. That's all it is. It's just a competition, man. It's not really about family.
It's not about
What's that, what's that movie with Martin? What the whole Roscoe?
Yeah.
I think that movie is, what? One, no, was
It was Martin and Cedric. It was Martin and Cedric that kept fighting.
Yeah, they kept fighting. You know, two cousins fighting over whose family was better. That's Jake, man. That was based off of reality that Jake has to do.
Because that's every last one of our families is like.
Yeah, that's the curse of
Based off a true story.
Speaks about how the eye is going to be evil towards your brother. The Lord also spoke about how He's going to set a major division amongst the households. So there is no spiritual or true family union. The Most High doesn't want any family unification. This is where the family actually starts. This is the true brotherhood. That's what Yahweh Shah said in Mark the 3rd chapter, 35th verse. Who are my father, my brethren, my mother, my kinsmen, them that do the will. Outside of the will, then you're just following the courses and the actions of Satan.
But I got a little bit more going into the Deuteronomy. It says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
This is your wisdom. Right.
Yeah.
Nations
Got
right
low
here.
ass.
Side of the nation, literally.
These nations, it's like you see Moabites. These Moabites. Right? They just saw us and all our doors. This is the word of the Lord. This is what we should be doing.
And it's funny because we look foreign to this country. At the end of the day, we're reattaching ourselves to our nationality, but now we're becoming Gentiles to this world. We're becoming foreign to this world. And David said that also. He said, basically, my brethren, I became basically a stranger unto them. Because these people don't look at us the same. We're being reborn, we're being renewed by this knowledge. So even how we walk, even how we approach this world is on a whole other spirit.
Can I add to that too,
Yeah,
Rob?
you got it, bro.
Like women at your job, they'll try to hit on you and shit, but they tell you, like, it's just a conversation, they're just all of a sudden they say they boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then you be like, oh shit, I can't even have no thoughts about her, so that's how we walking new
Walking
towards.
upright.
Yeah, can I get a quick scripture? You still holding Psalms? You still holding Psalms 50?
I can go back. and
Can you go to the 14th verse on that real quick?
You gonna finish the last
Yeah,
one?
while you doing
For what nation is there so great, who have the Most High so nigh unto them? As the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for.
So that's how the different nations speculated in the spirit. Like when you go into the account of Joshua, when Joshua and was going to reobtain the land, and they sent the spies to go to the land of Jericho. They knew about the Israelites. What Rahab said, oh, you amongst the people that actually drowned the Egyptians. Basically, can I go with you? Because I already know that the fame. Yeah, because she was basically speaking about the fame that was already spoken of with the Israelites.
correct me if I'm wrong, but that had to have been some substantial years later. That wasn't like 6 days after we got released out of Egypt. That could have been anywhere from 20 to 30 years later.
Yeah, after the Egyptians actually got flooded out, we had to go through the wilderness of Zin. We fled and we went to the wilderness of Zin, and that was a 40-year span right there.
Probably like 37 years later.
So yeah, it was 40
in the wilderness.
40 plus years.
And when Joshua was on the scene, it may have been that 40 years.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that shows you fame right there, where like 40 years later, basically, hypothetically speaking, anywhere between 20 to 40 years, we'll just say, and that just going to show you like that fame carried,
Yeah, and then after the wilderness of Zin, they had went by the I forget which riverbank that was. They crossed the riverbank, and the first city that they encountered was Jericho. That would be a major stronghold because Jericho lies right by the riverbank.
Right.
So, of course, if you know anything about military strategy, it's always good to be resourced around water systems.
That's what made Rome so great.
Babylon,
Yeah. To get to Rome, you had to go. It was basically at the end of that peninsula. There was only one way into, I think, Rome. That's why. But you got that in Psalms.
All right, this is Psalms 50 and this is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 14. Offer unto the Most High thanksgiving.
Yeah, so like we were saying earlier, you know, what the brother was going into, this is the new way of walking. You know, so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American men standing up on a day like this and coming out and pushing the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to push that righteous spirit out here. This is the true Thanksgiving. Not sitting down at a table and being gluttonous
Right.
in the name of an idol. Okay, we're showing the people how to walk properly. This might seem strange to the people that's walking by on camera. It's like, what's wrong with them? Shouldn't they be at home watching
The Cowboys and
Redskins
Redskins.
and the Cowboys play,
Off ass shit.
the Falcons play, or whatever basketball game is on, whatever? Shouldn't we be on our second or third plate by now? Getting a piece of pie,
Kicking back shots of liquor.
drinking liquor and beer and juice. But no, we're standing firmly up and giving our thanksgiving to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for waking us up to this truth that we're not in that folly. So this is our thanksgiving to the Lord. We could be at a house right now eating a plate or some food, right? Hell, we could be at home cooking for our own goddamn self.
Yeah.
But instead, we're going to show our reverence to our power, man.
Right. Right. So you ready that? Give me Proverbs 5 and 23.
All right, this is Proverbs chapter 5, verse 23.
Because we talked about Esau. We read in Psalms 50 and 17 about how Esau, he has the book, but he doesn't follow instructions. He doesn't follow the book.
Yeah.
So now you got America, because it's really all about money. The main power of Esau is as long as he controls the money, he controls the people. So as long as the money is flowing in the direction he wants to go, away from, especially away from, leading Israel away from the Yahweh Shai, he's all good. Right? So
All right, this is Proverbs 5 and 23. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray.
Right? And the greatness of his folly, he's going because the so-called white man is a fool. And he's about to die without the instruction. Because he didn't take heed to it. But guess what? It's not for him.
That's right.
It's not for him anyway. Okay? It's not for him to keep his law, statutes, and commandments.
Yeah.
All right? That's in what Psalms 148.
So it's going to be it says his vine is not as our vine, his vine is as Solomon.
I got you. You got something? Isaiah 26 and 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness.
Right, let favor be shown to the wicked. He was given the earth. He was actually, allowed to take our heritage from us and place it upon himself. And he's still not keeping the law.
Yeah, and in all truth, if the so-called white man wanted to turn this world upside down from wicked to righteous, he would have the ability to. The control and the power, the monetary power this devil has, he has enough where he can actually turn everybody rich. They say the super rich, that 1%, they have enough money where everybody can actually be somewhat rich. And they'll still be well off. The Rothschild family is estimated at $500 trillion. What the hell can you do with that money? When you in the trillions, it's like, damn, what can you spend it at? What can't you buy? What can't you buy?
You're bored at that point.
Yeah, it's like, no.
You gotta think big. You got that kind of money.
But see, this devil, what he does the opposite of righteousness. Because even when he came to the Americas, he wasn't about actually joining with the Gadites and expanding and turning the world into paradise. He was all about havoc and destruction, killing off the livestock and recreating the whole world as you know.
Yeah.
This city or this world, or excuse me, this earth and this country that we're actually dwelling on, North America, this place was paradise. The world was paradise. The world in Genesis was known as Eden. Now the world is known as Babylon the Great. And this is the super center, of course, because really before it's even though it's a kingdom, it's still expanded all throughout the world. The world is Babylon. It's Rome. It's Rome all over. You know.
It's the fourth beast.
It's the fourth beast. And that's why the Lord has to actually hit the reset button. Ain't no turning back to this place. The wicked has to ultimately be thrown out of power for righteousness to be actually established. The wicked, everything that the so-called white man wants to push It's evil, treachery, lies, deception. He markets a lot from the left and the right. You got the right hand side of dealing, which he'll deal and serve certain things through these different marketplaces and these different shops. And he has the left hand side, which is the black market, where you sell artificial and you'll sell all kind of wicked things that individuals actually aren't supposed to get their hands on, but the so-called white man makes billions on both markets. Trillions.
Numbers you can't even really create, man.
So going back to that precept, let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly.
If I could add to that, here it is, like the brother's saying. It ain't nothing for Esau to say, go into his judicial system and write a law in place and say, as of 2020, Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas is banned. Anybody celebrating it will be fined or imprisoned or put to death. He could do that. He could do that. As much as he could put a law in place saying beating up on homosexuals is a hate crime, he could put in a law and say, "No, we ain't doing this Thanksgiving shit no more, man. You know what? We apologize for our wicked ways." Hey, but what does the scripture say? Whose slayers hold themselves not guilty, man. So he could, but he's not. But we don't want you to. Don't do it, man. It's just even you're slated for slavery, and it's more of a reason for us to whoop your ass, man. That's right.
They did that though. There was a time. Yeah, 'cause there was a time when Christmas was outlawed, saying it was a satanic holiday. Alright? But since the Rothschilds and Rockefellers took over, it became a national holiday. That was in the 1800s. You know, the church wasn't having to celebrate Christmas.
Right.
That was Christmas. All this is a money-making scheme. This is all about money. You know, they don't care either way what you do, but if they can make money by you investing yourself into these holidays, then shit, they're all for it. And they push it. Because the more satanic, opposite, backwards things you Israelites do, okay, the longer he gets to stay in rulership, and he understands that.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he's the opposition. He's the adversary. So if he can actually push that adversarial and oppositional spirit upon the nation, then it further detaches us away from our power, and it further attaches him to his power. He's all about making sacrifices and pushing everybody in his direction. And as soon as you unplug, that's when you become a threat to the society. And that's what we're doing. When we prophesy against the current, because this is what's concurrent. This is the fashion of the world. This is what's trending today. If you look on YouTube, if you look on your TV show, you're going to see all kinds of things pertaining to the celebration of Thanksgiving.
Yep.
We're the only ones that's truly speaking out about the wickedness of Thanksgiving, and as far as really everything America comes with. Everything America is pro, we're against.
That's right.
So we're the adversary to this kingdom. And that's the job of a prophet. Tells you that in Jeremiah 28:8. Tells you that in Corinthians, the 10th chapter. You can get that the pulling down the strongholds. Because this is a true stronghold on our people. We went to family members, we went to fathers, mothers when you first come into the knowledge, and you will hit them with slap facts, man. This is the slaughter of the Native Americans. You got certain brothers over in Montana and different states, they actually are true straight up Gadites. And their parents and their relatives actually celebrate this holiday. And they know. And they'll actually tell them and hit them with biblical scriptures and show that the Heavenly Father is against this. And what would they do? They'll still follow it, man.
Like for instance, at my job on Tuesday, you had this guy. You know, he claims he's an Israelite. He wears the fringes at work and whatnot, which is going to slap off because you're not supposed to be a target like that. But he was going around asking Jake what are they doing for Thanksgiving. He was basically saying that you shouldn't celebrate that holiday because a lot of you people are Native Americans, all right, and Seminole Indians. You know, he was trying to give him a little truth, but you know, at the end of the day, Jake is like, man, to hell with that. I got to get my turkey and I got to get my drink on. So it's
speaking for 20, y'all
the same thing. The same thing going on with our people. We try to tell them
Jake off the chain.
we try to tell them the right paths, but they want to seek out their own ways and be led by their own devices, man.
We're the the most hard-headed nation on the planet Earth.
The rebellious nation on the planet.
The Lord said he would send his prophets to the other nations.
If
They were hard.
if we were Chinese and prophesying for the uprising of the Moabite nation, we would already have the 144,000
Oh, we were prophesying to Esau, we would already have the 140.
The 1/3. The seven women would have cleaved under one man.
already.
It happened tomorrow.
It would have happened tomorrow.
Right.
But since it's our people and our people want to follow the ways of the world, it's hard. But it's the job of a prophet. Because all prophets, for the most part, what was they? They had receded hairlines. Their hairs was gray. They were stressed out. They was getting old. They was pissed off with Jake for the most part. They had to say curses on hard-headed Negroes. They was frustrated a lot. Because what? The nation that they were dealing with wasn't willing to shape. You had even in the accounts, you would have righteous men that they'll dedicate their lives, they'll dedicate blood, sweat, and tears, their finances, they'll dedicate everything that's in their will to structure and build a righteous kingdom. And then you'll have their successor that'll destroy everything that was established. Like Solomon. Solomon busted his ass in the establishment, you want to say something? In the establishment and the creation of that kingdom. And you had the successors. They was all about doing the opposite. Popping women, following guys, beguiling the people out of their money to be lifted high off the hall. And that's how we fell as a nation, man.
And what King Solomon said, you know what, is I should lead my kingdom to a fool. And so enough, Rehoboam was being foolish, because he wasn't listening. He wasn't listening to the wise men, he was listening to the young men. So then, but I mean, it was prophesied, but that's how it happened. The king was foolish. You know, and that's why, you know, it's important for Israel to follow the ways of the Lord. Right? Now I want to go back to a scripture I call Psalms 81 and 3.
I get it. I got it. You got it?
Psalms 81 and 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon.
Matter of fact, start at 1.
All right, this is Psalms 81 and 1. Sing aloud unto the Most High, our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob.
Right, which is what we're supposed to be doing as a people, man. All right? Even now, because that's what we're doing. We're making a joyful noise to our power, man, our God. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Verse 3.
Hey, and that show you how we used to get down when we would celebrate. Because truthfully speaking, in 2018, we celebrate the new moons, but we ain't doing it half. We ain't even doing a quarter as finally as we did it back in ancient world. Back then, we was bad with the instruments. You would have the righteous men get together and play those tunes.
The sons of Asaph.
You read about David when David missed the new moon. That was a big thing, man. You couldn't just miss the new moon. And he was sitting amongst the kings. It wasn't just King Solomon. You had all the royalty. You probably had that long medieval table.
Very regal.
It was very regal. Real nice and beautiful, elegant garments. Fine china. Top line. They basically brought everything out. Oh, when you read that, even also in if I'm not mistaken, Esther the first chapter with Xerxes, and we went through that account when Xerxes actually had his feast at the Shushan Palace. It spoke about how all the individuals in those different provinces came to that feast. And what happened? The woman Vashti, the princess, she didn't want to come out.
Vashti.
She was basically being a nigger woman, even though she was a heathen, but she had that nigger woman type of spirit.
Put
she
her
was
ass
bucking
up.
And at the end of the day, he had to remove her because she embarrassed him.
See, that's where that show you that Eve get that nasty ass spirit from the heathens, man. Because an Israelite woman's spirit, when you read in like Titus the second chapter, tells you how a woman is supposed to be. I believe it's Titus the second chapter.
It is.
Yeah, you know, so that's how a woman's supposed to be. So that spirit is a heathenistic woman's spirit.
All right, this is Psalms 81 and 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day.
On our solemn feast day. And one of those feast days is the new moon. Okay? Not Thanksgiving, not Christmas, not Easter. Okay? All right? Not July 4th, not Black Friday. but that's just a major way to make money. It's not really a holiday, but
That's if you think Thanksgiving is a spit in your face, Black Friday is
Hell
a
yeah.
loogie to the forehead.
they got
And a kick in the nuts.
It's like, nigga, we celebrating the selling of you niggas, literally.
They got Gad and Judah at the same time.
Yeah.
That's like a secret. It's not a major match. That's a secret holiday for the elites, because that was when they used to sell Jake, man. You know, Black Friday out in the like right now we're on a major.
It's Black Friday.
There'll be a bunch of slaves being marched down the street.
Nigga Friday.
And
So,
we sold. So we got a couple bucks, a couple negresses,
A couple niggas were basically being hard-headed.
a couple
Sold.
a couple Negroes and negresses half off. This buck is 200, but we're giving
They might as well call it.
he drunk from the night before and filled off a pumpkin pie and shit. And you know, I feel good, man. I'm gonna sell some niggas today.
I'm feeling generous.
Got the bullshit.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
That's how we're gonna be in the kingdom.
I'm probably going Amazon
But
shopping.
you eat them,
We're gonna have white shit.
Cheap.
we're gonna wake up. You might wake up after the days, whatever high holy days we have in the spirit of the kingdom, and be feeling good and be like, you know what, man? I feel in the mood of whooping Edomite ass. Like we might have a good celebration. It might give us a joy in the spirit, and we just might go whoop ass the next day.
This is gonna be Red Day 3.
Yeah, red day.
Because we don't say Saturdays and Red Day 3. Because it's the third day.
16 days.
God damn
Like I
it.
said, at the end of the day, we got
Red Day 3.
double the hell on Esau that he put on us.
That's right.
All these different holidays, Esau just celebrates and has a ton of fun, man. Shit, these devils get together, they pop bottles.
Yippee-ki-yay,
Seems like
man.
a nigga right now, he eating some GMO turkey. These crackers, man, they got the top chefs
Live turkey, too.
eating, all this stuff is nice. The cranberries is fresh.
Nah, them niggas, they eating a nigga right now. They eating a nigga right now.
Yeah,
With an apple in his mouth.
They had that a couple years ago. They had that a couple of years ago. They
It
had
is.
A nigga that was basically roasted. He was roasted and rotisserie, and they basically had it. I forget what part of the body it was, but that's what these elites do, man.
They had the head cut off and shit. Shoot, all these people that's going missing in that California wildfire, the elites, they have to eat some babies tonight.
Yeah, that was a major sacrifice.
I got news.
They fired.
You ever tried these
Fire
baby
out,
toes?
Northern California was a major sacrifice.
Nigga wanna serve
But the
it.
major demons, which really all the angels of the Lord are like that. The demons are angels.
Probably right
But they're all fire. They're all fire spirits.
He's so grotesque.
And the Lord is a consuming fire.
niggas
You
say
know,
some
on the
decent
left-hand side, them fire demons, matter of fact, that's in the Apocrypha. You gotta get it. That's in the Apocrypha. Wisdom of Solomon. What is it? Like 17, I think. It goes into the apparitions of fire, man.
Yeah.
You know? So them demons, the major demons, on the left-hand side, they were rotisserie and some Edomite and Negroes and Negresses over there in California.
Negro,
And now you got Thanksgiving. The elites is about to celebrate their victory over Jake, man.
Yup.
However they see fit.
Because over there in California right now, when I was watching something, and the main story dealing with Northern California wildfire, that broke out on Columbus. That really story started on Columbus Day. So you know there was a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice, man.
Sacrifice, yeah.
And like you said, where are all these? You got whole cities gone.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about thousands of people missing. How the fuck is it? Excuse my French, but how the hell does thousands of people in a city go missing? What does that even mean? They had to have gone somewhere. They have to be at a certain point or another. You have to be accounted for. Where I'm not missing anymore. John Smith III is not missing anymore because he's a credit for. That number should be going down, but it's going up. So where the hell are these people? How do people go missing within? Even with the people that was in the Katrina, right? They didn't categorize them as missing. They categorized them as refugees that fled to Houston and came to Atlanta or San Antonio and shit. But they just weren't missing. So what are they doing? probably somewhere being sacrificed. You know?
They're saying they're using the laser weapons. Hey, Esau got ways to he did that with Panama, the Panama Canal.
Panama Deception
Yeah,
documentary.
yeah, from the Panama Deception documentary. That was the 90s, destroying all them Israelites down there.
Yep. That goes to show you too. Esau don't give a damn about his own people, because all them fires in California, man. Jake ain't living over there. Jake ain't living on the hillside, man. They living. Esau is living in these hillside homes, $1 million homes. You know, he don't. And then here go the Edomites go and celebrate Thanksgiving, but it's like the curses are slowly coming upon the Edomites, man. With these fires, these natural disasters.
And it show you that Esau don't give. We gonna get back in the scriptures, but it show you that Esau don't give a damn about his own people. Because look at them. Are they? Hey, Salaki, brother. You know, where is Esau mourning for these people out west? They're not mourning for them. They're just in the spirit of fuck it. We eating our own pies. You got it, brother. I just want to
Scooby-Doo in the
Yeah,
game.
it's about them protecting their families. All right, now go from there. What was that? Leviticus 23? 1. It's about the feast days, because we got feast days that we're supposed to follow. You know? We have things that we're supposed to be doing. All right? Go ahead, Al.
This is Leviticus 23:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord.
Concerning the feast of the Lord. So the feast that our people are celebrating now, that has nothing to do with Israel. That has nothing to do with your heritage, your customs. Okay? But this is what the Lord commanded us.
It says, Concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feast.
Right. Holy convocations, even these are my feasts. And we're going to see if you got Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas in it. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
Right, so we have a day of rest. In America, they don't give you no day of rest. Right? Even Sundays, somebody's working somewhere. Right? The whole country should be declared like how today everybody's pretty much chilling. You know, it's a day of getting together with your family, just staying in the house.
A lot of stores are closed.
You know, a lot of stores and businesses are closed. This is pretty much how it's supposed to be on the Sabbath. Nobody out. But it's pretty much the sentiment of how it should be on the Sabbath. You know?
Shit, wait till Christmas.
Right.
Right.
Oh, New Year's.
Yeah.
I continue on, it says, A holy convocation, you shall do no work therein.
No work shall be done. Go ahead.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Right, and this is rest, and the Sabbath was made for man to rest. Especially here in Babylon, where we go through all kinds of torture on these jobs. It's really mental and spiritual torture on these jobs. You can't really get into the spirit. You know, you got a heavy workload, you got to make sure you meet this by the end of the day, or you got to stay late. You know, it's heavy on our people, man.
Yep.
But that's why it's important for us to get back to who we are. Okay? Like the brother had brought out about this is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. All right? They should be following after what we're doing. Instead, it's the total opposite. Okay? Go ahead, Art.
All right, verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
The seasons. Right, because they say 'tis the season.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have our own seasons. Keep our feast days in. Go ahead,
All right, verse 5. And the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
right, so going back to the first month of the year, all right, and the 14th day of even is the Lord's Passover. All right? Now, what was the Passover about? The Passover was about our great deliverance from Egypt as a nation. Man. The Israelites were led out by Moses, all right, out of ancient Egypt, all right, into the wilderness to go into the land of Canaan is our inheritance. So we can keep these laws. So the Lord can be with us. So we can have all these days. So we can finally have a rest. We was over about 430 years we was in slavery in ancient Egypt. We needed a rest.
Hell yeah, we need to
You know? We needed a rest. He was like 8 or 9.
Yeah, because they had like a 10-day week.
Yeah. Them in Rome was like that. Yeah, you know?
Work, niggas.
We needed a rest.
It's like to be in the kingdom. One week in the kingdom for Esau will feel like a whole month.
Hell yeah.
Hey, but the Lord even specified on that. We do 6 days of work and 1 day of rest. He was cutting Jason slack, man. That alone right there, from what we read right there in the beginning of that chapter, it's been okay. I like that. Give a day to rest.
Hell yeah.
Right?
You know?
That's why even though Abraham's servants loved him, because he actually gave them time to rest and chill.
Yeah.
He didn't beat the shit out of them, break their backs from work.
We treat them like sons.
Like son.
You know? Go ahead, huh?
All right, verse 5. Let me see. Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
We had a whole week. We didn't just have Thursday, and then some people go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Somebody got to sell them laptops and them Xboxes
Hell yeah.
on Black Friday. Somebody got to go to work. Okay. But for us, when we went through
So
Passover,
true.
we had 7 days.
Chill.
All right. Go ahead, Carl.
It says, verse 7. And the first day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
We'll serve our work. All right. No serving or anything like that. No slaving. Okay. That was the rest. You know?
Verse 8. And you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is a holy convocation. You shall do no servile work therein.
And we had on the 7th day, we had a day of rest.
Everybody. That was federal.
Yeah. It was a national holy day for the whole nation. All right, now jump down to, after that, jump down to Feast of Weeks.
Is that verse 10?
Should say 49, 50 day. All right, because the Lord gave us 3 feasts for us to celebrate. You follow me? So start down with me.
All right, this is Leviticus 23 and 15. And you shall count unto you for the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
7 weeks or 7 Sabbaths. All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall you number 50 days, and you shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Verse 17. You shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2 tenth deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord.
Right. Which is also known as the Feast of Weeks. All right, or what they call Pentecost. We had a whole another 7 weeks after the Passover ended. We counted 50 days, and we had another high holy day. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Pentecost mean. Count 50.
Yeah. Penta is 50. Right. And count 50 days. All right, or they call it the Feast of Weeks because you got to wait for 7 weeks and the 7 Sabbaths. All right, so there was plenty of customs and days that the Lord gave us. Okay, there's another one mentioned earlier, Purim. That's in the book of Esther. Okay, but that was a celebration of our victory that a woman had. She had a hand in helping us having a victory over an Edomite. Okay. But the so-called white man has our people celebrating Thanksgiving and as his victory really over the whole nation. It started with the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Reuben. Okay? But we had a holiday as a victory over him. We should want to celebrate that. Okay? That's why, like I read earlier, Jeremiah 16, when you go into the old past and the old ways, all right, you find there's a lot more rest, like I said in the scripture. There's a rest here in this book, man.
Yeah, even in the accounts for the Hebrew servant, The Hebrew servant didn't even have to bust his ass like that. After a number of years, he was deemed righteous.
That's the spirit on stage. That's Deuteronomy 15 chapter.
Yeah, brother can get that, you know. But that's the importance of even being going back to your nationality and being an Israelite. Because here we working 40, 50, 60 hours, and they up the retirement age.
Yep.
So it's like you never could see the end.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I got this Jacob on job. The man
We
is
bumped
60
it up
years
to
old.
72. Get back to work.
Same work I do. Hard labor, but working some long hours. You know. You know.
They did.
Slaves.
It was
Total, he's 60.
it was
but
7 years.
But say that's in the Christ. He shall not favor to the younger to the old. Man. Okay. He shall come as swift as the eagle flying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know. Not just Jake, but Latin tribe, Issachar, 60, 65 years old, working hard as hell, man, working late, man.
Hell
They
yeah.
old, so they don't mind the work because they got too much else to go home to. And white old, she probably retired, but then he's still working. You know what I'm saying? But then a lot of the Latin tribes in America, they don't really got, retirement plans and things like that. They just get a check. They make do,
Yeah.
you know?
I got that precept here on too. Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou verily laid thy yoke.
Mm-hmm. Upon the ancient, the elder man. Okay, there's a coin. All right, upon the elder, ancient, old man, they laid heavy yokes on our people, man. Okay? This is an important part of our heritage, keeping the holy days, man. You know? So, because like you said, this is a holy convocation. Holy means separate. We should be able to speak. We should be separating our spirits from this society and getting more into the scriptures. Okay? Everybody that's celebrating Thanksgiving as an Israelite, whether they know it or not, okay, should be getting into the Bible even more. If you know you're an Israelite, study more. If you don't know you're an Israelite, get into the scriptures and learn from great millstones. You can't really say you ever counts before like that. Okay? Learn that you understand other scriptures and understand what the will of the Lord is.
That's right.
Okay? And understand who you are for real. Because in these last days that's coming, right, you're going to need this knowledge and understanding. Like the brother said earlier, you want the Lord to take sins off of you. You want him to not impute sins unto you. You want to be a clean person. Because he's going to save the clean. He's not going to save the one that still got America all on it.
Right.
You know, that still got the garment spotted by the flesh, man.
Yep.
Okay?
You finished that up?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, come.
All right, this is Acts 17:30. And the times of this ignorance the Most High winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent. So you might be celebrating the holiday today, man. But the Spirit of the Lord might have it to where, you might see a video. You might see this video tomorrow after you get done stuffing your face. And you're like, oh man, you start watching more videos, then you start figuring out Christmas is wrong, New Year's, Easter. So this is a high time to wake out of that sleep and repent, because the kingdom of heaven is near. I mean, we've been through it. We're not saying we're holier than now,
Right.
because we've been through it. But the Most High is looking of that repentive and contrite spirit to come back to Him. That's why we out here on days like this, trying to tell our people to come back to their true heritage.
That's right. If I could, you don't mind, all these high holy days, none of them are set up by you. I mean, not these high holy days, or these wicked high holy days to make the specification. You're celebrating days that your people didn't set up. Our people didn't set up Thanksgiving or Christmas or July 4th. We didn't set up these days. So why are we celebrating? That goes to show you how much of a slave you are in this system. The high holy days found in Leviticus 23 and Deuteronomy 16, that goes into our heritage. You should want to do something that shows that you mean something. Thanksgiving doesn't give you any meaning. None of these days give you any meaning because you're celebrating the defeat of yourself.
Right? You know, cultural meaning to yourself. You can't take that and say, I'm celebrating Thanksgiving because this is what it means to me and my family and my people.
That's right.
You can't do that. But when you go into the scriptures, you can do that. Okay? I'm gonna just get that, and I'm gonna get one more scripture. Con. Let me get Isaiah the 2nd chapter. Okay? Because it's these scriptures, these laws, these statutes and commandments is what's gonna have the whole world coming unto us. Okay? Now we got Isaiah 2.
All right, this is Isaiah chapter 2.
We went through this.
All right, this is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. It's the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Right. So this is a prophecy that the Lord saw concerning the Israelites. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it.
And we're in the last days now. And we're getting ready to be exalted. Powers and miracles are getting ready to come to the true believers. Okay? The name of the Lord is going to come into play heavy in that time period. The same way it was in the time of Yahweh Shai. A lot of people, after he did a miracle, they would glorify the Heavenly Father Yahweh. So now in these last days, he's going to glorify the Heavenly Father Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai, which are the true names in the Hebrew. And that's going to exalt not only the names, but it's going to exalt us. Because we're the people, but with the name. People are going to want to come to us. All right? And not just Israelites, but these other nations too. Okay?
Us being Yasha.
Us being princes.
Of the power.
Yep, of the power, yep. Princes with power as well. We're going to be with power.
Joined to the Most High.
Go ahead.
All right, verse 3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord.
Right. So many people, many of these other nations are going to come, are going to say, come and let us go into the government, the rulers of the Israelites. Okay, the people of the Lord. All right. Go ahead.
All right, continuing on, it says, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways.
And we're going to teach these heathens our ways, man. So we're not going to be celebrating these high holy days. We're not going to be keeping Thanksgiving. Okay, we're not going to be keeping Christmas and putting up wreaths around the city. Nah, man. Okay. We're not going to have people going from door to door singing Christmas carols, knocking on your door at 10 o'clock at night. Okay? Screaming joy to the world. The only joy that's going to come to the world is when the Israelites are in power. Okay, that's the real joy. That's the real Eden. That's when paradise is really, we got paradise in California burning now, because the real paradise is getting ready to be exalted.
That's right.
Which is New Jerusalem.
That's right.
Yeah, that's spiritual.
That's
Okay.
symbolic, yeah.
All right? Go ahead, Al.
All right, continuing on, it says, And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
So everybody's going to walk in our paths. And what are those paths that we have to go? That's the old paths.
It's starting now.
It's starting now, but we have to go back to them. We have to see, what did our people do in the ancient world now that we know we're Israelites? What did they do? What customs did they follow? What high holy days did they keep? Okay? They keep birthdays? Nah, my birthday wasn't a custom. Okay. But it didn't matter, because every week you had Sabbath. Every month you had a high holy day. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't personal. It was a nation, as a nation.
Yeah, right. It wasn't personal, because because as a people, pride was never really something that was given to us. We had pride for Israelites, but the scriptures tell you what happened to them. But as a people, as a nation, we glorified Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. Okay?
And the Lord generated us through works, through miracles and acts, because everything that we gave to him, it would always descend back and would actually show and represent itself through us as a nation. Our kings was in the highest form of glory. And they had all kind of blueprints of knowledge and how to build and structure and how to deem the people, how to deal with the citizens. You had the priests that was getting ordained specifically through the Lord on how to structure, how to sacrifice and how to build. And we was a beautiful nation, man. That's why we're fighting so hard, vehemently, blood, sweat, and tears, tooth and nail, to get back to that state, man. Because we see how we at now. At the end of the day, if we invest all our energy in America, what we gonna get out of it? You get you a nice car. That's gonna eventually break down. It's gonna be a piece of shit. Get you a nice woman, a whore wife, and kids might not, more likely they're gonna be subjugated to the society. They have to follow this educational system. What that's gonna lead to? Death. So there's nothing here but death. And this is the only way to enter into everlasting life.
And everybody's going to follow our path. Okay? Everybody's going to follow us, man. Read that again.
This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Right, so the ordinances and the laws and everything that the world's going to follow, they're going to be following from us, man. They're not going to be following, here comes that Sunday, April, now it's Easter. So now you got to put on your best.
I ain't going for it.
The pink in your
It's
green.
alright.
Okay,
Just make it
it's not going to be having no Easter egg hunts. Nah, man. Everybody's going to walk in our way. They're going to say, well, we want to learn about the how of our Sunday hour shot.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
All right, but that glory is only going to come as you walk back in the path, and that's what we sit out here to do. All right?
Yeah, you can steal some more in there?
Yeah.
I can go to 4.
Yeah, read that.
All right, this is Isaiah 2 and 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks.
Right, it said that they shall beat their swords into plowshares, because the swords are instruments of death, instruments of cruelty. And for them to be beaten in plowshares, that means that it's going to get back to that agricultural buildings type of state. Because truthfully speaking, the state that we're in a state of constant war. If you look at the federal budget, you can see without a shadow of a doubt where's the spirit of the world. It's geared towards men.
That's right.
Majority of it's towards the military. None of it's towards really medicine and truly technology and agriculture. It's all towards death. So in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to actually have a spiritual federal budget where you're going to see military, the spirit of military building is going to be no more. So where's all the resources going to be geared towards? Everything else, expanding. Because you have, on the federal budget, you have medicine, you have technology, you have education, infrastructure. As far as military, I say military, what else? Research and development. So you gotta think all those billions of dollars, if it's no more military and it's gonna be geared towards all those other things, how great of a kingdom that would be, man.
Can I get a super quick precept?
Yeah, you got it.
Michael 4:3, he says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Yep. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Neither shall they learn war anymore. So what are we going to learn if there's no more war? We're going to learn all the other valuable things that actually come with retaining and having the kingdom intact. Just like during the time of Solomon. He was all about what? Building, advancing, structure, guiding the people.
Peace.
And peace. And the aftermath of it was eternal glory. Well, it was glory at that time. It wasn't eternal, but Solomon's kingdom is going to be resurrected through Yahweh's kingdom, and it's going to blow Solomon's kingdom out of the water. Yep, it was all vanity and vexation of spirit. Because what Solomon's kingdom didn't have, which Yahweh's kingdom is going to have, is the new covenant. The covenant was that Hebrews 8:8, where the words is going to be fully sealed in our inward parts.
It's not going to be an internal war of Israel.
Get that?
With Israel warring against the other nations. This is going to be in the spirit of expanding.
Total control.
Total control. We're going to be it's going to be us at the top of the food chain, and it's going to be a far distance between us and the rest.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the scriptures, the blessings are so that. You know, it's not, when you read the blessings say that they shall overtake thee, It should consume you. You want to get that cut?
This is Hebrews 8 and 8. Well, let me start at 6. Hebrews 8 and 6. But now have he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises.
This is it. This
Yeah.
is the covenant that's established upon better promises. And that's how we know that this kingdom, when we establish it, is going to excel the previous kingdoms that we ever had. The top of our kingdoms out of all kingdoms was the time of Solomon. And you read about it, even in this, the state it was in, it was glorious. It was majestic. You had the Queen of Sheba that went all the way to Solomon's kingdom, and she seen the doorman, and she thought that was Solomon. But he was like, no, I'm just a casual servant. You know, they had the gold flakes in their beard. It spoke about how he, when you read in Ecclesiastes, he had men servants, he had maiden servants, he had singers, he had 700 wives, and 300 concubines.
Provisions.
His provisions, daily provisions, fat oxen,
Peacocks.
yeah, peacocks. Oh, he had the transportation
Yep.
routes through Haman the not Haman.
It started with an H. I forgot his name. Hiram.
Biff.
Yeah.
Hiram Abiff, which he was going to the Americas. So he would take those routes to the Americas, and he would come back, and he would bring back something from Americas. And when you look up, matter of fact, somebody could look that up. Solomon's estimated net worth of his kingdom. In the ancient world, because you're gonna see some numbers. You can continue.
All right, verse 7. All right, it says, verse 7, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second.
And that's beautiful. Even though, you know, we feel as a nation the creature was subject to vanity. Not willingly, but ultimately by the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah. He wanted us to fall as a nation. The Most High really put the spirit on Adam even in the Genesis to go off. He knew that when what Eve would do. He knew that Eve, because in the spirit thing, the Most High is all knowing, all seeing. He knows the future, he knows the past, he knows the present. But he did all these different things to actually introduce a point for us to fall to see and turn back to righteousness to get out of this estate. Everything was written for our learning. Continue.
Verse 8.
Oh, and it's spiritual, because when you go into the Hebrew word for learning, it's the Hebrew word lamad. And the symbol of the image of lamad is a snake. So truthfully speaking, we have to truly understand the snakish world. We have to gain subtlety through falling through the wiles and tricks of the devil in order to actually stand in righteousness. Because in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to balance both of them out. We understand the left and the right because we went through all these different things of wickedness, so we can appreciate righteousness better. And that's the highest form of glory. That's truly being a God. The serpent was telling the truth. When he said that, he said, truly you will be as gods. Even though they were gods in their state, the resurrection and the rising is going to, at the end of the day, we're going to be in a stronger and a more powerful nation than we truly were even back then in the times of Genesis, during the time of Adam.
That's Philippians, the second chapter.
About the first fruits or the angels falling from the first estate.
Yep, in June.
Okay, I got that stat. Now, this is from MSN.com. All right, and this is the 20th richest people of all time. Okay, and Solomon, King Solomon, is number 5. Okay, and it says King Solomon
What
of
devil
Israel.
wrote that?
I know, that's false, man.
Number 5.
I was just about to say.
4, 3, 2, what is?
Well, you gotta take into account the size of his kingdom.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. He just ruled Israel.
Yeah, I was
It wasn't-
joking around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Solomon, the scriptures, which going back to the law, the scriptures say in Deuteronomy 17 that a king is not supposed to multiply horses to him anyway.
Yeah.
So our kingdomship was never about the king just being
Overly rich.
overly over everybody and everybody else being low.
Yeah, that's
Other
Esau.
kings, that's Esau. Esau came into power. He was all about
Expansion.
well, look at the kingdom. Look at how he's ruling his kingdom now.
It's a million,
Yeah, you look at the Rothschilds and the illuminated ones. They're worth trillions of dollars. Then you got Edomites that are right now going in the soup kitchens trying to get a turkey plate.
Yep. Sucking the substance out of the pork and making themselves super rich. So that's understandable though. At the end of the day, him being number 5, because even the ancient world too, you you had Mansa Musa, which he's up there in the
He's
numbers.
number 6. I think.
He's number 6.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
number 6.
after
Yeah,
Solomon.
he's right after.
You have a couple of individuals.
But
certain-
it's not in Jake customs.
Yeah.
It wasn't in our customs to get, over the whole world.
yeah,
Like Augustus, what was the?
yeah. I think that's the season.
Augustus Caesar. He
He's
was
number
working.
4.
See, that makes sense that he would be over Solomon
Yeah, he's
because
over Solomon.
Augustus Caesar, when you go into the history of him, he owned a huge, see, that goes to show you, this is the contrast of kingdomship. Because he owned a huge portion of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, you know what? Let me read this if I can. This is number 6 of the 20th richest people. Mansa Musa the first of Mali, which he was an Israelite. Peak net worth 415 billion. Musa the first is easily, now keep in mind 415 billion because there's going to be a complete contrast. I'm going to show y'all in a second. It says Musa the first is easily one of the richest people in history, amassing the equivalent of 415 billion during his 25-year reign from 1312 to 1327. The king of Timbuktu and Malian emperor who controlled a huge empire.
Sub-Saharan, he had Sub-Saharan
Yeah,
routes.
Africa,
He was
yeah.
known through, because even having a large kingdom, you have to have some type of transit route with income and outcome. Resources.
That's what made Rome so great. The roadway system.
Yeah. And then it was saying all roads lead to Rome. So it says, who controlled a huge empire which covered much of modern day Mali and Ghana, which a lot of
was
the
a
people are Israelites over there. Had half of the world's supply of gold at his disposal. So he had half the world's supply. Africa's the richest in resources, okay, which was traded with merchants from as far away as Venice, Genoa, and Egypt.
Hey, he's gonna be looked at like a casual. That type of money he has, that's gonna be casual in the kingdom.
Yep.
What it tells you is John the 14th chapter. The Lord is gonna supply us all personally with planets, man. You gonna the hell with a country, the hell with a continent. The Lord say He's gonna give you planets, and this is all these different things are foreshadowings of what we're gonna actually receive in our glory, man. See?
Now this is number 5. King Solomon of Israel, peak net worth 2.2 trillion.
The Bible ain't real though.
Yeah, but the Bible's not real.
But you see, number 6 is only 415 billion, but King Solomon had 2.2 trillion.
And
that's a huge gap right there.
And what's heavy about that too is Mansa Musa's kingdom was after Solomon's kingdom. Because a lot of times with previous kingdoms, the military expansion is not as strong as the successive kingdoms. And for Mansa Musa, the predecessors is usually not as expanded as far as the successors.
Look at the statue of Daniel's dream, going from Babylon to Rome. Just
So from
going
the great to
through
weaker.
Yeah.
So it says, according to the Bible, King Solomon ruled from 970 BC to 931
And that's
BC.
bullshit. But I want to say something real quick. They trying to say according to the Bible as if they don't have records to
Yeah,
it.
they got
Right.
They have records to it because when you look into, there's a good documentary on, I think it's PBS. It's an old documentary that goes into King Solomon's rulership. And they know because when you go to the land of Israel, they show King Solomon's horse stables.
Yep.
He had a lot of horses. Solomon's porch. And they show you where Solomon had them Edomites down in the land of Edom in them holes, man. 10, 15 feet into the ground, bringing out them not precious metals, but different metals out of the earth, man. That's how he had them Edomites in the ground, man. That's why they hate them, man.
The devils know through their excavations. The
Yeah.
scriptures speak about how they wiser than Daniel. But they always want to put it in a format like the scriptures is mythology.
Right.
When they already did they do deep research, man. They have certain excavations of certain things during the time of King David's rule, Solomon's rule. You have, if I'm not mistaken, it was a prism. I don't know if it was, I forget the exact. You got the Cyrus cylinder.
Right.
It's a certain prism. I can't think. I think it's Shalmaneser's prism, where you'll see King, if I'm not mistaken, Hezekiah bowing down to the king of Egypt, giving him riches, man.
The king of Jehu. King Jehu.
Yeah, that's
Jehu. It was Jehu.
Yeah.
So this devil knows that our kingdom was true. Through excavations, through him doing his diligence, going to the land of Israel, tilling that land. That's why you even have certain. Esau knows where Jerusalem is. He knows where Hebron. He knows where Yahweh Shah lives.
Hezekiah.
He knows where King David. He knows all these different things, man. I'm pretty sure where Yahweh Shah, majority of them areas, you probably have some type of elite devil that's living there right now.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
You can see though.
Okay, it says, according to the Bible, King Solomon ruled from 970 BC to 931 BC, and during this time, he is said to have received 25 tons of gold.
25 tons of gold. That's glory.
Tons.
But his,
25
but who
tons.
put in that work though?
We're talking about a ton is
His
what?
father.
2,000 pounds times 25. That'll show you how many
Or
pounds.
like a dump truck. A dump truck will hold like a. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up real quick. I'm gonna look that up real quick. How many cubics is in a dump truck?
That's a lot of riches. It was on top.
Let me see a dump truck.
I think they trying to show that all that gold with the Queen of British.
Yeah, which
Queen
is
of
stole that
England.
from. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of,
That's
yeah.
true.
Because riches never are destroyed. It is
Right,
transferred from one kingdom to the next. It tells you that.
France
in,
got some
Sirach, the 10th chapter. It says through injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to the next.
Yeah. France got some of our gold, because Jacob's over there. Britain got some of our gold. Germany.
Nice.
You know?
This is it,
We
right?
got
So you remember the movie Die Hard with Vengeance? Oh man,
I know it.
It's too many diehards.
yeah,
know.
right, yeah, it's like
way off. With
big one.
Die Hard, with what's his name, Samuel L. Jackson. And you remember in the movie, they those Russians, they came in and stole all the gold from out of New York, and they had the dump trucks. And they were full of gold bars. You know, we didn't catch that. But dump truck, typical dump truck that you see on like doing construction on the side of the road, typically will hold how many? What did they say? Yeah.
Yeah, 25 tons of gold.
Is that how often was he getting that? Does it say or is it?
It says for each of the every year he got 25.
So every year he got 25 tons.
And he ruled for 40 years.
A typical dump truck will hold typically anywhere from 26 to 27 short tons. So if you see a dump truck down the road every year, he had a dump truck full of gold come to his front door. Basically.
So no wonder
He was sharing the wealth.
He was sharing.
That was the beauty of it. Because Solomon didn't just have it all just to look at. You'll watch that in the movie The Hobbit, the Battle of Five Armies, that he was a gold hoarder.
Yep.
He had all that gold and he didn't want nobody to touch his gold. But Solomon, he shared the wealth with the people,
Right.
man.
Now, you gotta remember too, that's what he received. That doesn't include what Israel already had.
Yep.
What King David already had in the temple,
Yeah.
plus was already there. That's just what he was giving the you know?
I gonna show that we was really in peace in 40 years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because Gideon got a bunch of gold. Remember, Gideon defeated. He got those rings from the people. So they don't tell him how much gold was just circulating.
How much it weighed.
Yeah.
You know,
That's typical. That's a 25-ton dump truck.
Full of
he has
gold.
one to come on the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they ransacked the
Right? So it says, and during this time, he is said to have received 25 tons of gold for each of the 39 years of his reign,
For each of the 39
because he
years,
died in the 40s.
he died in the 40s.
Yeah. So it
So
says,
for him to have all that money, that showed you how the people live. It was peace in Solomon's kingdom. And you had people from all different kingdoms, with the 1 Kings, the 4th chapter. People from all kind of kingdoms that came over to his kingdom just to see the beauty and the wealth. They was like, damn, the Queen of Sheba, she knew about money. She grew up seeing palaces. She lived in what's that, East Africa. I'm pretty sure she's seen different kingdoms in West Africa. Pretty sure she's seen all kind of beauty and majesty. She grew up wearing jets and all kind of different, silk,
what they call
choice
Abyssinia.
choice oils. But for her to go to Solomon's kingdom and be blown out the water like that,
Humble.
and
Yeah,
it humbled her,
Yeah.
blew her away, that shows you, man,
Heathen. These heathens.
that was
man.
something crazy, man.
You can't humble these heathens now, man. These heathens have riches.
His kingdom was illuminated. I'm pretty sure his kingdom was so glory that thing was illuminated, man. You'll see the shine afar off.
Yeah, because the spirit was there.
Yeah, and the spirit was there too. Oh, man.
So it says 25 tons of gold for each of the 39 years of his reign, which would be worth billions of dollars in 2016.
And they can't put a number to that. because they're basing the value of gold according to their dollar standard.
Right now, right.
So with the dollar standard, what happens? Gold goes down when the value of dollars goes up.
Yep.
Yeah. So it depends on what rate you're using.
And what year you're doing it. Because if you
Right.
would have did it prior to 1933, it would have been maybe, it probably would have been trillions of dollars. Right, but now read this. It says, along with impossible riches amassed from taxation and trade.
And if I can say too, another part of riches that Esau have our people so defeated with the values and riches that we just equate dollar bills to riches.
Right.
King Solomon probably, what you think was coming from over here? Spices, you know, or and we read in the scriptures where it speaks just about him coming over here.
Right.
You gotta understand, he was about expansion. He's probably sending fleets of people to the Far East,
Elam,
to Elam, to that
Ammon.
land.
Yeah,
and he was
yeah.
getting all kind of different spices that, again, you can't in your mind today say, like if you gave a man, if you gave a nigga in the hood 100 pounds of saffron,
What the hell
he would look at that shit like, no, what the fuck I'm gonna do with this? Excuse my language, but that's how he would think.
Yep.
But not knowing saffron is the most expensive spice there is. A king's mind thinks completely different.
Hell
And,
yeah.
and a lot of the saffron comes from East India. You know, they use a lot of it in their rice, and you know, the curd. A lot of the spices come from that region of the world. Like the brother said, that just was what. Imagine what they was. Cause remember they had to go around Africa. Imagine what they was getting along the way from Africa, Madagascar, then going to over here, and then coming back. You know what I'm saying?
With different fruits,
So it says, along with impossible.
Vegetables.
exotic animals.
Yeah. Pretty sure everybody in their conditions, there wasn't no sicknesses like America. America's full of hospitals and prisons. The crime rate was on zero, more than likely in Solomon's kingdom. You didn't have Jakes that had, here it is, they 17 with
The
a
fuck
bad
do you-
heart.
What do you got to steal from?
Six.
You got everything.
And that's how we know this is a sorry ass, dirty kingdom, man.
Yeah,
When you read about the kingdom in the scriptures, it's known as majestic, it's known as glorious. When you read about the kingdoms in the script, in these kingdoms in the scriptures, they're known as beasts with 7 heads, 10 horns, with a horse that's riding it,
Unclean,
Just-
filthy.
unclean,
Just an ugly.
scarlet.
Yeah.
It says, so along with impossible riches amassed from taxation and trade.
Yeah, because he was taxing the hell out of the people. Why? So that he could expand the kingdom, right? Because he built 2 major structures, which was the Lord's temple and his house. I think it took longer for his house to be built than
It took 7 years for the temple, 14 for.
Yeah, 7 years for the temple, 14 years for his personal estate.
Now keep in mind with that, just that number, Esau be throwing these high rises up in the city. It might
6
take him
months.
6 months to a year to throw up a high rise 50, 60 stories in the sky. 6 months.
About a good year.
A good year. But even so, okay, so we'll give him 18 months.
Yeah.
14 years of dedication and high taxes. And what was he doing with all that gold? He had 25 tons of gold. He wasn't just wearing it. He didn't just put it on the people. He put it inside of his building. So his kingdom, see, like you look at it, this is just brick and mortar work. Right. He made sure that I'm pretty sure the building structure was carved in gold, different things of that nature. Diamonds. You go inside, you had the big vase, so to speak, and it had the charcoal with the smoke ascended. You can smell that smoke miles away, man. Even getting to his kingdom. Ain't nothing like that. Esau doesn't know truly glory, man.
Yeah, imagine how
frankincense.
smelled back then.
When you read it in Matthew, the wise men gave Yahweh gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Which that frankincense and myrrh, that top frankincense and myrrh, that stuff is real expensive. Solomon had all that at his disposal, man. He had gold at his disposal. So just think about the silverware. You read that in Josephus, it spoke about. And the Josephus, if a fly would land on Solomon's silverware, he wouldn't even use it in his
It was gold
See?
So it says, along with
That's the
impossible
glory
riches.
that we're looking to obtain. That's why we're fighting. That's why we're doing this thing, man. Sick, we still out here doing it. we forsaken our lives because the life that we're going to actually receive is going to be way greater.
That's right.
See?
It says, along with impossible riches amassed from taxation and trade, the biblical ruler's personal fortune could have surpassed $2 trillion in today's money.
It could have surpassed $2 trillion in today's money. And that's why Babylon was what? Known as that head of gold. Because through Nebuchadnezzar ransacked the temple, and he took all the riches of Solomon's temple after, basically he came into rulership.
What's if I can add, bro? What's so heavy about that is that them ransacking the temple after King Solomon, that was financing financed all the kingdoms to come. Because all the riches did was be transferred from the Babylonians to the Assyrians.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it really, the Most High setting Solomon up like that was, that money was ended up financing all these other kingdoms all the way to this very day right now.
So I got one more. Now this is number 4, Augustus Caesar.
Yep.
Right? Peak net worth $4.63 trillion. Okay? It says the first Roman emperor who ruled the vast empire from 27 BC until his death in AD 14 boasted a personal fortune equivalent to 20% of the entire empire's economy, worth $4.63 trillion nowadays. At one point, Augustus even owned Egypt.
He owned Egypt.
He owned Egypt.
And those different kings, such as Augustus Caesar, it was all about what? High taxation. Because the higher you tax the people, the more that you can finance your kingdom to do whatever you want.
That's what the Rothschilds do.
And that's why the Rothschilds do it to this day, because we pay federal tax, we pay state tax, and we
Local
also
tax.
pay just regular tax.
Yeah, local tax. Yep.
Here it is, you'll buy a Snicker bar, and it say $1.07, you go ring it up. It's fucking $1.14. What are they putting extra pennies on for? You ain't getting no recompensation from that. Yeah, you go ahead.
This is Job 27 and 16. And it reads, though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on.
So all these different things that the so-called white man is structuring and building, it's all for the elite. It came from us any damn way. The world belongs to us. And that's why the Lord actually gave us a snippet. Even during the time of Adam, it spoke about how they didn't even have to till the earth. The earth would give its increase. We didn't even have to, it didn't even rain during that time. The earth actually took care of the world in its glory. All right? It spoke about how Adam lived 900 plus years. So he almost was that immortal. That's truly being really immortal. No? So that's why we do this thing, and if we continue and we fight harder and harder, we're gonna actually see these different things.
Yeah, we're gonna if I can add, we're gonna get back all of this and some. See, we already saw what our forefathers did, but we having the vision that the Lord has blessed us with. We don't just want that. We want that and a whole bunch more. So we're talking about what King Solomon had, all these kings. We trying to take all that and some more, because like Esau knows through his wicked his left hand side science. Man, it's planets and it's other things and resources out here that he can't get to.
This whole planet is made of diamond out there.
Right. It's a super planet. I think a brother.
Yeah, super Earth.
Super Earth that just came into the orbit of America, of this world. And it ain't no telling what else is out there that we're gonna be able to get.
You got some more?
Yeah, I'll finish it up. And it says, and the innocent shall divide the silver.
Yes, it says the innocent shall divide the silver, because we represent the innocent. It says the poor of the earth hide themselves together. And for us to be a nation full of kings and priests, as the scripture says, and we rule in the kingdom, that means that each and every brother will have his own personal slave. This truly, the nation that we're living in, America, this isn't a kingdom full of kings and priests. All the Edomites are kings and priests. You have poor white trash. You have your local devils doing blue collar work. They're not really living high up the hall. You have the elitists, which is a select few. It's only a few of them, and they're taxing the middle class. The middle class is getting their money from the poor, and it's a lot of Edomites that's in the midst. So in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be taxes with all Israel in the kingdom of heaven too. It's not just going to be, all right, the Yahweh Shah, you know, the 144,000, and you're going to have the 1/3 and the 2/3 coming back through the loins of the 1/3. Everybody just having their own money and their own plots of land. Nah, it's going to be a hierarchy.
Look, tights ain't going away.
Yeah.
How many? The nation of Israel is not paying tights right now. And like you were going into earlier, tights is actually part of that's part of the law.
Yep.
So that's not going away. You still gonna pay tights. This is gonna be a bigger tight system.
Yep.
Yahweh Shai is gonna get his riches still, man.
It's still gonna get it. It's still gonna. Solomon's taxation ain't gonna be is nothing close to Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is gonna get taxes from us, which really is gonna it ain't even gonna be called like tithes and offerings. Like he gonna come through the kingdom. Hey, y'all brother 144, y'all got y'all tithes. With the big boy collection plate. Nah, we're gonna actually go to him and bow down and give riches, give all these different things.
If I may, there's a movie with that came out a few years ago with Morgan Freeman. I think it's called The Last King or The Last something. I can't remember the name of it. But they show you in those movies, those timepieces, that when you were a king, like even in that movie, they show you had a king.
You had Forrest Whitaker in it? I think it was the last King of Scotland.
I don't think Forrest Whitaker.
Okay.
Morgan Freeman is the king in it. If the brother want to look that up. But what I was trying to say is, he was a king, but there was a king that ruled over the kings. And every time you went to that king, what did you do? You gave a gift. So, like you said, it's not like it's like, you know, hey, well, brothers, you got your arms. You ain't gonna no arms or taking collections up for him, man.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see Yahweh Shai empty-handed, man.
You never gonna see him empty.
That's disrespect against the king. Like you have European royalty. You have European royalty, British royalty, Spanish royalty. If you have a Duke of Spain going to the King of Britain and they're trying to, you know, negotiate or they're having any type of, you know, dialogues or rapport amongst each other, a lot of times they'll come with them giving them gifts, giving them certain substances to live off of. Women, you know, certain jewels. They'll always, a lot of times you'll watch these different movies. It's good to watch those different king movies because we're gonna get into that state. They'll come and they'll give the Queen of England. Man, the Queen of England, her chest is filled up with gifts, man.
All kind of brooches.
All kinds of different things, man.
She got a pretty. If you see some of Queen, so-called Queen Elizabeth's collection, she got a lot of brooches, man. Because a lot of them French kings and stuff back then, they used to give the queens these brooches as well, and they dresses.
They go back to hundreds of years old. They're not like made of
Family heirlooms.
I just want to make a quick point because you said Yahweh Shai is gonna require his. Like when you read, we read Isaiah the 2nd chapter, where it says the nations shall flow into. But when you read Micah 4:1, it says the people shall flow into it. Now, when you look that word people up, I think it's Aim in the Hebrew, and it literally means countrymen or one's own people or a member of one's people. So that means us too. So it's not just all the other nations. Nah, it's the 144, the 1/3, and the 2/3 all flowing into Yahweh Shai. But the thing is, willingly we're going to do it because we know he deserves it. It ain't like you said. It ain't gonna be no, hey, y'all brothers. The brothers got your tithes, you know. Now we gonna want to do it. Here's my women. Here's my daughter.
He said, can I add this? He said our heart will be turned from a stony heart to a fleshly heart. So we're gonna have them godlike bodies. Our mind is gonna be just like he said. He gonna put the scriptures in our ear.
We're gonna fly to his kingdom in a big boy chariot, you know, just dropping off. It ain't gonna be like, hey, here's a piece of gold, King Solomon. No, it's gonna be the drop off, the big boy package. You're gonna have slaves coming in fleets, dropping these different things.
Dropping slaves off. Shit, slaves off. Get out of here. Good luck.
Yeah, both of them. One that dropped them off.
Whoever's a slave to Yahweh Shai, man. Good luck.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit.
Yeah, unrighteous dealings. The so-called white man deals unrighteously in his kingdom. And that's how they actually established their enterprise. The elites, Maya Hampshire, Bauer, the Moses, Rothschild's 5 sons, they made trillions off of interest rates and financing countries, putting high taxation on them. So they sucked the breasts of the different kings of Africa, Asia, all throughout the Middle East, And that's how the elites became the elites to this day.
God, slaves dropping slaves off.
They through conquering. They're over the diamond district.
Invasions.
Yeah, invasions. Because they were financed. Because how they would do is they would finance the war, both sides of the war. At that, the loser, he's gonna owe more because he's gonna have to pay off that debt. So he's gonna be basically under his oppressor. And the winner, he actually invested in the winner. So the winner, whatever he wins, he gets a piece of the cut of the pie. So if you were to invest military men, you would invest all kind of different things to actually help that individual win the war. Then after he would win the war, and say for instance he would take over, for example, you know, a whole country, they would have different countries within the country. Then that individual actually financed the piece of the war. He gets the piece of the pie. It's investments. So war is big business. War is big business. And the devil kept doing that over and over again through these elites, and they monopolized the world. That's why you have the game monopoly, where you land on property, you owe money here. You land on this property, you owe money here. You land right here, you go to jail. Who created the game monopoly? What's this individual name? The main white boy that's on the monopoly game he was a lesser illuminator. And the word monopoly means out of many one. Mono is one. Poly is where you get the word polygamy, which is many. So the so-called white man, that's how he created his enterprise. That's how he got the richest. Got by the sea. Milton Bradley, that's his name. Okay. But that's how he got the Milton Bradley. It's an individual. J.P. Morgan, if I'm not mistaken.
It might have been based on
The white individual with the white beard, the old man. That's an actual person.
With the monocle on his eye.
Which J.P. Morgan was financed by the royal church.
Right. Yep.
Team.
The kingdom is translated.
Get over.
All right, kind of. This is Ecclesiastes of Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries,
Yeah, and the white man deals with unrighteousness. We just went through one amongst many. We didn't go into the scramble of Africa, how they really poured down the whole country of Africa. That's why them Africans is poor as hell. Ribs is being shown, and they want to air them pictures over here in America and want us to pay. Who fucked them Africans up?
Right.
Shit, who's fucking us up now? Shit, you need to send them pictures of us to them. God damn it! Shit, over here through, bro. What the fuck? They gonna be like, God damn.
It's like, for $1 a day, you can save one Negro in the hood.
But you know what? We're joking. We're laughing at that, but that's what happened. You had a lot of, I forget which community over there.
Shit, we out here finished.
Yeah, you had a village of women, and they sent money to the victims in Haiti. So here it is, Haiti. Haiti is the worst country in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so again, like you said, shit, they should be sitting nice $1 a day.
Hell yeah.
No doubt in the Israelites.
We're in that. Go ahead. Finish that.
injuries and riches got by the sea. The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
And that's how we're going to gain the kingdom through wickedness that's actually being perpetuated and us establishing and standing upon righteousness.
This thing
So,
look good.
that's the end of camp. We're going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom Maki.
Shalom.